Hmm. Hello, dear one. Hmm. Welcome to the series Through the Fire. My name is Joya. This is part 17, I believe. We've come a long way. I wonder how you are, how your heart is. Yeah, and today I would love to talk about how to handle depression after a fire, after a natural disaster specifically. And you can, of course, apply it to any kind of disaster, other letting go or losses. So I wish I could tell you that you will be spared deep emotional experiences when you go through a natural disaster. And unfortunately, I can't, because the experience is literally mind-blowing. When your home, the environment, friends, animals, nature is swept up by fire or water, air, or the earth. So for me, it is and was truly humbling to witness the force and the power of the wildfire. And needless to say, I felt helpless and powerless. I was in awe and at the same time complete terror. I was full of adrenaline and at the same time paralyzed by numbness. The funny thing is that the ego and the mind always wanted to do and figure out, most certainly, and the experience, my personal experience, was about being. So I invite you to turn your experience into an experience of being. So here's what I discovered during a summer vacation in Mount Shasta, which was a year later. And of course, you would imagine that I had worked through a lot of, my stuff, my trauma, certainly. And when I was drowned in smoke for 3 weeks, I actually, hold on a second, it was 2 years later. So when that happened, the after fire effects called depression started to come in again, and it showed up in waves. So it came and it went, and it came and it went. And of course, a part of me internally hoped that I was over with the experience and I was healed and it was clear. And I just want to let you know that it will be a movement. It'll be a process. It's going to be a journey. You will be reminded of what happened by the weirdest things. It might be people sharing something. It might be that you see a piece of clothing on somebody, or you see something in a store and you start bawling. So no, I call it the after fire effects can show up and translate in the form of depression. And at the same time, what I find exciting when that happens, it's just another opportunity to be and to stay present with what is showing up. And of course, when that happened, I asked myself the question, do I like it? Well, and the answer was nope. Does it feel pleasant? Absolutely not. Does it feel like it will last forever? Yes, when you're in the depression, it feels like it lasts forever. Then, of course, I ask myself the question, do I trust it is a gift of some sort? And I had to answer yes, very much. And the next question that I asked myself was, do I know it will pass once I have felt it fully? And my answer was yes. So when that happened in Mount Shasta, and actually it happened just recently, and it happened in pretty much the 4 years that after my fire experience. So my remedy was, I felt it, I sobbed, I cried, I felt lousy, I connected to the depression, period. And then I discovered something interesting, certainly with my Mount Shasta experience. Mount Shasta, which is this beautiful, beautiful, magical, very, very powerful place, almost at the border of California. Comes with an amazing, amazing mountain that is protected for spiritual reasons. So when that beautiful place and Mount Shasta was filled with sticky and yellow diarrhea beige looking like smoky air, of course, everything felt heavy and unbearable. And I realized, wow, that's depression. That's what depression feels like. It feels heavy, it feels unbearable, feels kind of icky, yucky, sticky. So then I noticed that I had a hard time breathing. And then I kind of, tuned in and realized, wow, when depression hits, sometimes it gets so strong that it's hard to stay with it and to breathe. So please remember the breathing. And another experience was that the wind blew like crazy. And I realized that when the inner winds of repressed feelings are not being able to surface, it can cause a storm inside and of course outside. And that's, what these winds do during the fire season. Yeah, and I guess last but not least, I had this beautiful realization, because when I looked at the mountain, it was completely covered and all of nature in a way disappeared behind a veil. And I realized depression takes away any kind of vision and clarity. So just know that. Yeah. Well, the gift that I discovered in all of this is that it's good to know that there is help, and the help often, or the most reliable help, shows up through our emotional guidance barometer, because when you connect to the feeling and the emotion, you will be able to see where you're at. And I think it's incredible. The ability to feel, incredible. And always remember, this shall pass. And it always passes, especially when you dare to feel what's going on. So I hope that was helpful, looking at depression. Depression that surfaces when you're going through a loss, through a fire, through a crisis. Yeah. So as always, I'm sending you many, many, many blessings. Be well. Take good care of yourself until we meet again. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so. And if you need more help, please reach out to me at www.joya.love. That is joya.love. Okay, many blessings, beautiful one.